It's Friday, August 17th of 2018. And I know this is kind of a different camera angle, but there is a method to my madness. As if. Guy's Daily Drive. And good start of the weekend. Sort of. I mean, this isn't really the weekend. It's still Friday, which means I have a whole day of work. It's not that bad. I'm just kidding. I'm just funning. As I said in the beginning, you probably noticed that there is a slightly different camera angle. It's not like just focused on me. I am over all the way to the left-hand side, and you can see the other seat in the car. I still have the same mount that I've been using, that I have off of my rearview mirror. And I love that mount. It's a great mount. It has served me very, very well. And I'm going to keep continuing to use it. But one of the things that I noticed on my trip to MacStock, because originally, there was a plan. There really was a plan. Originally, like some time ago, I had been talking to Carl Madden from the Mac and Forth podcast, amongst others, and he was going to come to the U.S., and he was going to come here to the D.C. area, and then he and I were going to drive from this area. Hold on a second. We're good. We were going to drive from this area to Chicago in whatever car I had, and as it turned out, it would have been this car, not the Ford Flex or something I may have rented. But whatever. It worked out. It worked out well. And if he had come, chances are the MacStock trip definitely would have been longer, because I would have taken at least a couple of days afterwards, and gone to, dead skunk. Oh, God, they are so foul when they get run over. Of course, it's got to be worse if you're the poor, it's sad that the skunk is dead, of course, but if you're the poor sap that actually hit the skunk, that's got to stick to your car for a bit. Oh, God, that is really foul. Anyway, after MacStock, we would have gone to, I don't know, everything is falling over now. We would have gone to maybe down to Nashville, or a couple of other places. Everything is a mess. Everything is a mess. And this is the clip that I'm using right now. And it's just one of those vent clips. But as you can see, let me finish my story. So we would have taken a couple of days and gone to other places other than the Chicago area. Would have gone to Nashville. Would have been cool if we could have gone down to Florida, spent some time down there. I have not gone to Florida this year, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good that I will, which is too bad, because I'd really like to go. But on this trip with Carl, we would have recorded some video here in the car, kind of like what I do with Guy's Daily Drive. And that would have been a lot of fun. However, the mounting thing that I've got here that's on the mirror is not really good for that angle. I suppose, as I'm looking at it now, I could bend it like way, way, way back. But then I would have to do the same for, afterwards. And the more you bend one of these things, the harder it is to get it back to the position that you want it in. And I kind of like the position that it's in right now. So I was looking for like alternate ways to mount whatever kind of camera that I would be using. In this case, it's either a 5th or a 6th gen iPod Touch. I'm not really sure which one it is. I don't think it really matters that much. They both shoot in high def, 1920 by 1080, something along those lines, or 1280. And that's fine. That's good enough for YouTube, and good enough for Facebook, and all the rest of that. But I needed a way to show both of us. And I had considered doing something like getting a second one of these big mounts and putting that on the other side of the mirror. But then you kind of start running the risk of blocking what you can see on the road. And as much as I love doing Guy's Daily Drive, I'm not going to do this if I am a danger to myself or others as I'm driving. And again, something like this that I'm doing, I don't really think is that dangerous. It's certainly no more distracting than having somebody else in the car and talking to them. As long as I'm keeping my eyes on the road and I'm not, letting myself creep up or trying to speed around traffic or anything along those lines. It's just me driving down the road, keeping my attention on what I'm doing, which is driving. And see, I have to stop talking because there was car things that I needed to do. But anyway, so what this clip that I have this thing on right now allows me to do is have me, you can see me, hello everybody, and it also shows, at least partially, and it may take a little more adjustment, it shows the other seat. So this was a potential fix. I've got another mount that I'm going to try, not right now, but this is it. This is it right here. And you can see it's got a clip, and that would allow me to kind of put it wherever I want, within reason, however far the gooseneck is on that, and move it to, wherever I can so that it can capture both myself and the other person there. Now there are other alternatives. I could get a second iPod Touch. I actually, I got this from my bank, and it was free in that, over time I build up bank money, bank dollars, and they're not like regular dollars. These are like incentives that the bank gives me based on my transaction history. And it's never really a whole lot, but I can buy stuff, and it doesn't cost me regular money. And the prices for all these things are like grossly inflated. I mean, I can pick up a brand new iPod Touch 6th gen, brand new, for I think it's $189, something like that. This, through the app or through this incentive program, was like $280 to $300 in bank money. Again, it doesn't cost me anything. So, and chances are, if I was actually going to do something like this on a regular basis and have other people in the car, that's kind of what I probably would do. And the question kind of comes, would I do it with one camera looking at me here, or would I set up two cameras, or maybe even three cameras, do like a 3-camera shoot, have one kind of set up like this where you can see both people, and what I really need to do is get a second person in the car and, adjust it for that. And then have one camera looking directly at me, and then one camera looking directly at the other person. I would have to have different microphones set up. Now, one of the things that, and yes, I realize that the audio for Guy's Daily Drive has been a little uneven, actually a lot uneven. I've been making some adjustments here and there. The problem is I can't monitor the audio as I'm doing this because, this has the combo port, and I suppose I could get one. There's a splitter that you can get that will give you one microphone and one headphone jack, and maybe I'll look into doing that because they're not that expensive. Every time I think about it, I'm not online buying something. It's like right now, I'm not going to pull over, go to Amazon.com, and then punch in whatever it is I got to punch in to find one of those things, and then hit buy. Then I get to work, and it's like, oh, I got other stuff that I'm thinking about, so I don't think about it that way. Same thing when I get home. I doing stuff, even when I'm editing Guy's Daily Drive. But anyway. So that had been the plan. So what I'm basically all of this rambling that I'm doing has to do with the fact that I needed some way to show both myself and the other person in the front seat. And it's relatively balanced as I'm looking at it right now. So this would work for two people, but I would still want to have those single shots where you see just me or you just see the other person in the car. And I would edit it appropriately. So maybe I do need to get at least one more iPod Touch and maybe even two more. They're not that expensive, and the great thing about iPod Touches as compared to like GoPros and all the rest of that. Now, I could go with GoPros. The problem with GoPros is I can't see easily what it is that is being recorded like I can with an iPod, because it's got the front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera. And the GoPro would certainly give me much better video. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways that I could get better video out of this and not spend much more than I am for these kinds of things. But everything is a compromise. And if I get something other than what I'm using right now, I have to maybe set up a separate monitor so that I could see it. I'd have to maybe get something a little bit bigger and figure out some way to mount it in the car. And, the other nice thing about iPod Touches is that they're very unobtrusive. They don't take up a lot of space, and they don't keep me from doing what I really need to be doing while I'm behind the wheel of a car, which is driving, undistracted. And the more complicated you make a setup like this, the chances for more distractions are present. So that's my dilemma, something I'll be working on, and I've got plenty of time to work on it because I don't have anyone to record with me right now with Guy's Daily Drive. And, honestly, it's already being done. People have been doing this kind of thing for a long time. And right now, the one that seems to be getting the most attention with it is Jerry Seinfeld with comedians in cars. But even, it's not an original concept. There was a guy I can't think of his name. There was a guy in the UK who was doing something like this, where he would pick people up in his car and take them to some place that they wanted to go, and they would have a conversation in the car. And it was brilliant. I saw one he did with, I saw several of them, but the one that comes to mind is one that he did with Patrick Stewart, and it was wonderful. Anyway, so this is going to be the end of it. Again, I've made some audio adjustments, and I will see how those work out. Let me know what you think about how this shot looks as compared to the way that I normally do it. And the other thing I'm kind of curious about is vibrations. You know, how vibraty is this going to be as compared to the other thing that I use. The mount that I use normally hangs off the mirror, which is hanging from, you know, the front glass in the car. So vibrations are going to be somewhat amplified through the mirror and then down the gooseneck and then to the mount for the camera. And that's okay. You know, it hasn't been that big of a deal. So if you'd like to get a hold of me and tell me what you think about this setup with this camera angle, I'm definitely going to keep this mount. It's small, so it's not like it's going to take up a lot of room. You can reach me, Guy at MyMac.com, probably. The easiest way and best way to get a hold of me is MacParrot through the Twitters. And make sure that you check me out on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I'm doing the Mac to the Future Go live cast over there on the Facebooks, typically with Mr. Warren Sklar, though I've had, you know, other people come on as well. And you can also find me on my #1 show that I do on the weekends with Mr. Gazmaz, the MyMac.com podcast. For 8.5 years, I've been doing that show, and I'm still so digging it. So anyway, thanks for watching and or listening, because this will also be converted to an MP3 file and then put onto the iTunes over there in Guy's Daily Drive. Oh, anybody, do me a review on iTunes. That would be like so super cool. You know, I'd really like that. And I guess that's going to about do it. We will see you next time. Hold on a second. Wait for it. On Guy's Daily Drive.